My name is Rudkowski. I'm a 20-year-old college student, and I live in New York City. Been living here for about 11 years now. The first person that I knew that was sick was David Miller, and I think I've been knowing him for about 3 years, 3.5 years for now. He came down to our events at this church that we used to hold, and you know, he just came down there with his breathing machine, and the guy was just sick. The guy's losing his teeth. Seeing him, that he's literally coughing up blood, like a whole chunks of blood and just dirt and filth. It's like wow, man. Like, if this could be done to a national hero, a guy who fought in Iraq, it could be done to everybody.
Everybody, please give a huge round of applause for my good friend David Miller.
My name's David Miller. On September 11th, 2001, along with hundreds of my fellow troops, I went to Ground Zero. No one asked us, no orders were given. We went because our city, our country, our neighbors were under attack. And we knew what to do, or at least we thought we did. On September 13th, we marched back in groups of 2s and 3s at first, and then dozens until there must have been more than 200 of us, carrying ropes, ladders, tools of every kind, back into the smoke and the poison and rubble, where we reached an intersection with hundreds of civilians cheering us on. Our uniforms were torn and soiled. Our resolve was simple: to stay and dig as long as we had any hope to save anybody. I want to tell you about how sick so many of these brave men and women have become. I want to tell you about how the mayor refused to accept the fact that not dozens, not hundreds, but many thousands of us were contaminated, sickened, and poisoned by the most toxic combinations of building materials in the history of disaster relief. And that for 5 terrible years, he ignored that fact. 5 years of our family members watching us drop dead. And every time popular mechanics calls the people of this movement nuts, these propagandists, professional liars and tools who cannot even by any stretch of the imagination be considered journalists, strike another nail into the coffin of another rescue worker.
We Are Change was started after the 9/11/06 event here in New York City. When we first started out in New York City, it was a bunch of young kids. Nobody was even over the age of 30. And we were just brainstorming, what can we do to have the most amount of change? I remember just getting a whole bunch of young people, getting their emails around about New York City, and just having meetings. You know, we used to meet at pizzerias. Living in New York City, I've been at Ground Zero hundreds of times, and I remember speaking to many 9/11 victims' family members who lost loved ones on 9/11, and who still to this day have many questions.
My name is Manny Badillo. I'm the nephew of Thomas Joseph Sproy. 70% of family members' questions were never answered during the 9/11 Commission report. What if one of our family members were murdered? Would we be okay with 70% of their questions never being answered during any trial? There still has never been a trial for those who have died. There still has been nobody held accountable.
I challenge you all to learn about the truth of 9/11. It's time to research on your own. Learn your physics. Learn your history. Free information on 9/11. Information that's been withheld from the American public.
Hi, my name is Dan Wallace. My father was a firefighter for about 23 years of his life. Loved his job, every second of it. Came down here on 9/11, unfortunately, gave his life. We're down here every Saturday at the World Trade Center Pass Station. you know, trying to get the truth out there. That's what this country's about. Truth. You know, it's America. Freedom of speech.
All we're asking for is a new investigation. We're not asking, you know, to believe us. All we're asking for is to look at the evidence. Come on, guys, that's a great story right there. Film that. Film that.
Okay? I gotta tell you something. This I expect because I've worked in New York for 20 years.
Okay.
This bullshit is standing right behind.
Bullshit?
Yeah, bullshit.
Bullshit.
Standing right behind
your corporate media is, but this is bullshit.
Life, man.
This is bullshit. This is true. This is America. This is America. This is America. Freedom of speech. If you can go on your news channels and manipulate people's thoughts, we could do it too. How about that?
That's terrific.
Yeah, is it? You like it? Asshole? Yeah, you're very mature. I can see why you're an anchor man.
Family member here. You know that, right?
My father died in these towers.
How dare you?
You just see me getting called an asshole by an NBC anchorman.
See, this is what the media does. They never talk about the family members. They never talk about the rescue workers. The family members, the rescue workers started this 9/11 truth movement. And people have to understand that it's these people who are affected by 9/11 who we are fighting for.
We're about to head over to the stock exchange. Last time we got confronted by cops with M16s, and they actually took the safeties off. You know, M16s with the safeties off is not a joking matter at all. This time we're going to go down there. We're not going to stand for that. We're going to pretty much stand our ground. They can take the safeties off all they want. We got cameras this time.
Can't have that banner up over here.
We understood that we could.
We were out here. We were out here last week.
Okay.
We set up over there. Talked to a gentleman just like yourself, and they told us that's blocking pedestrian traffic. We were in over here. The police officer gave us no problems.
Okay.
And he said we could stay here.
Unfortunately, that was last week. I don't know who you spoke to. This week, it's me.
Yes.
Banners with these type of things on it. Can't have it.
What type of things? It's cardboard.
I know.
There has a hole. There has a hole in it, and it's a cardboard. We're not blocking pedestrian traffic.
No, I understand that. I'm saying, the thing is these.
Get the camera. Sit up with him. I can record. Yes? It's a private camera. It's a private camera, though. I'm on public sidewalk.
It's nothing private. Just let me see what you took pictures.
Take pictures of what? This is a private.
Well, listen, you want me to take that camera, or you want to show me what you filmed?
We're so good. Take that away, people.
I'm asking him not to film me.
Pointing down. It's fine.
I'm going to ask you one more time not to point the camera. I'm only going to ask you one more time.
Okay. I understand.
Yo, don't ever, when he tells you don't record me, you have every right to record. Remember that.
Do we or not?
You have every right to record. You're on a public sidewalk. Everything is public property. You give me the camera next time. I will put it. I'm not scared. I will put it right in their face. They tell me to put it down. I'll put it right in their face. There are many incidents, not only at Ground Zero, but other incidents that people try to set us up. People try to get us arrested. People come, scream, spit, try to start fights with us, even though they're not even rational people who are willing to have a conversation with you, who are not even engaged in a conversation with you.
I just wanted to say this guy outside actually just told me stop talking about 5 years ago, and I told him I will never stop talking about 5 years ago. Even if it's 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I'm never going to stop talking about it.
We're not going to stop until the lie's uncovered. The footage you just saw was the last time I saw Dan Wallace. Dan Wallace died in his sleep a couple days later, Monday, January 29th. Dan You were one of the best friends I ever had. I will never forget you as long as I'm alive. One day, brother, we shall meet in the sky. I miss you, man.
I was to be informed by my military assistant. I was to be told of a nuclear attack on the United States roughly within 30 seconds of its initiation.